It's been probably 9-10 hours since I put these caterpillars in this pink spot caterpillars in this container. As you can see, they've been eating like crazy. And as you can see, there's a jumping spider trying to get in to eat my caterpillars. So that's always a big problem, guys, whenever you're trying to raise caterpillars. You're bringing in plants, and the plants have lots. Oh, look at that spider. Oh my gosh, look at that thing. Dude, that thing, I wonder how many caterpillars. Oh, I see several of them.
How'd you not see them when you were putting them in?
I don't know. Okay.
Take them out.
All right. Well, those are just weevils. All right, so here's what we got. Since this morning, let me try and take these out. Yikes. All right, so what we have in here, one thing we have is a pupating. Oh, he's already got his girdle done. So his girdle. He's got his girdle done too. All right.
Isn't a girdle like the thing on the list?
Now, girdle is the little. They actually have a little piece of silk that they wrap around themselves that holds them in place while they're making the cocoon. So this is how a chrysalis stays in place, guys.
Wait, what caterpillar is that? Tony.
These are a pink spot. So the first thing the caterpillars do is they make a silk pad, and they attach a little appendage in the back called a cremaster. It's a little appendage with little hooks on it, and it attaches the hooks to the silk pad. You can see the silk that's been spun on the side of the container. The next thing they do is they create a silk girdle, which they wrap, or at least this species does, Pierids do. They wrap a silk girdle, and it wraps around their thoracic region and holds the pupa in place. All right, so what happens is when they turn prepupal, they go from this green stage, and when they're ready to make their chrysalis, they turn more grayish, and they get this really pronounced orangish band on the side. That's how you know they're going to pupate, and when they do that, they stop eating. So you don't need to have them in a container with biomass, with food, because they don't eat anymore after that color change happens. But what you want to do is you want to get the prepupal ones out of the container, because these guys will go and try to eat their brothers and sisters because they're pigs. So no, don't eat your brother. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to separate all these out, and we're going to make sure that the prepupal caterpillars have a home, and that the guys that are still eating have plenty of fresh food, which we're going to show you in a minute. All right, now we have all of our host plant that we cut at our alternate venue today. And what we're going to do is we're going to put it in these water picks. So cut it down a little bit to size, put it in the water picks, and then I've probably got about 25 caterpillars in here that are still chewing. So we're going to put all this fresh host plant inside, and we're going to do that times 3 water picks, and then we got to figure out what to do with all these prepupal and J position caterpillars. Okay, when a caterpillar is in the J position, it needs to hang upside down. So, and it needs to be able to hang upside down without being disturbed for a significant amount of time. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just put these twigs resting in this empty container, and I'm just going to let them kind of like just sit wherever they may. And what will happen is the caterpillars will just continue with their pupation process, and they'll make their chrysalis, and then in about 3 days, when all the chrysalis are dry and fully formed, then I'll come in here and kind of take the chrysalis off of these little stems and put them into a container so that they'll be ready to emerge. But this is kind of a sensitive time, and we just got to make sure we do this right, because if you don't, you lose your whole crop and it's not worth it. So there, that's kind of special, guys. Now we're just gonna let these guys kind of marinate here for a little bit. We're probably gonna go out and collect some more caterpillars that are on our tree and add to this container. So we've got some pupa, and the pre-pupal ones, the J position caterpillars, we just kind of dropped them in this container and let them pupate down here on their own, and looking good. We've got, looks like one of them didn't make it there. Not sure what happened to him, but that's a caterpillar I'm raising. But the rest are looking good. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more pupa. I'm going to add them to my little pupa container here. I'm raising all kinds of stuff. This is pretty cool. Yeah, I'm just laying them on the bottom here. When they emerge, they'll walk up this ramp here and hang upside down and properly dry themselves. I thought it would be interesting for me to show you guys the size difference between the caterpillars that fed and got through on the right type of growth when there was nice new growth on the trees, and the ones that ran out of food that pupated later. Look at the size difference, guys. The larger chrysalis was the first of its brood to pupate, and it left, you know, they eat all the new growth. The female butterflies lay so many eggs that on the tree that there's not enough biomass on the tree to get them through. So the first ones to pupate get through nice and big. The later ones, the earlier ones, or the younger ones, there's not enough for them to eat. So a lot of them get malnourished, and that's what that looks like. So it looks like a healthy pupa, but you know, it's just going to be stunted growth or stunted size on that adult when it emerges. So, all right, guys, another cool thing I wanted to show you about the pupa is that there are 2 color forms. There's a green form, which is predominant, but every once in a while, maybe 1 out of 20, we get one of these really dark colored ones, which is pretty cool. At first glance, it kind of looks like it might be sick, like it's virus or something, but as you look at it, it's a perfectly healthy chrysalis. So just wanted to show you guys a little bit of that variation within the pink spot sulphur in the chrysalis stage. All right, just from our little container of pink spot sulphur pre-pupils, this is how many we've got. It looks like more than a dozen, probably 15, and still some caterpillars feeding. There's not a whole lot of new growth left on there, but we've got 15 more chrysalis on their way. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and add them to our little pupa collection here. 2, 3, 4. That one's new, I gotta be careful. 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, 9, 10, 11. Oh wow, there's way more than 12. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There's 22, guys. So I drastically underestimated. So I drastically underestimated how many I had in that container. I told you 12 or 15, there were 22. So it shows that I don't exaggerate. Yeah, buddy. That's a whole lot of pupa we got. I'm raising question marks. I got atalas. I got all these pink spot sulphurs, probably close to 40 pink spot sulphur chrysalis in here, and some arctia tiger moths that I'm raising. Pretty cool.